Hey, here we are. Hopefully, hopefully everybody can hear me. It's a little bit tricky in the beginning because you never know. You never know. Okay, let's get all of my stuff set up here so we are ready to go. One thing I notice is I left my happy hour brand up in the corner, so we want to remove that and change that while we're here. Boom. Okay, and we already have somebody joining us, which is great. I have a really interesting thing I want to do today or talk about today, but I want to make sure we've got a couple of people in here because I know for a fact that people in this group, people that watch this, are definitely going to want to chat about this or get in on this. Now, the other thing is, I want to make sure that I have my last slide ready for you guys, too. Let's go with that. And let's see who's here. Oh, Chinto, you're here. Hey, good morning. Ready to take notes. Actually, I think this is going to be a really good one today. I've got some things I want to talk about, some ideas I want to share. So it should be really good. It's funny, every time I do one of these, the whole idea originally was to just make it a very casual AMA. Good morning, Bruce. Happy you're here. But it was supposed to be just really casual. Hey, Serena. Now I know who all three are in here. So yeah, it was supposed to be just really casual. I figured people would just ask questions, and we've had that quite a bit. But it's hard to maintain that because what you find is people come and they want to hang out. They want to kind of hear what the ideas are, and that's causing me to have to jump into almost like my professor mode where I have to think about like, okay, what is something I want to talk about today that we can vamp on for a while until we figure it out. Susan, Eric, and Lindsay are all there. That's awesome. Boy, are you in for a terrible hour. I mean, I know Bruce likes it, but geez. Uh, hey guys, I am glad you're here. So let me get this thing expanded and then I can share this. I'm making the lamest slide I think I've ever made. Email me at. And the thing that really sucks about it is I don't even know if this is an accurate email at this point. And what the hell can you do, right? Let me just share it and I don't want to do it as a document like that. Okay, cool. So, okay, on our way to Chicago. Oh, are you in the car? Are you driving? Are you driving and listening to this? That's really amazing. Why are you guys coming to Chicago? Are you coming to detail my car? Molly has our car, our Kia. She basically has taken it over and it needs to be cleaned. Very nice. I appreciate it, Bruce. Yeah, I was going to make a tip joke, but I'm not going to. Okay, let me pull up my slides, and then we're off to the races with this. Let's start off with, before I really jump into the thing I want to talk about, does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any topics they want to bring up right up at the top? And here, as long as we're doing that, let me pull up my screen. And, oh, if I share that, we're already into the second thing I want to do. So I don't want to share that yet. On our way to see you guys. Always, right? Okay. So Thursday, I did it. I launched Happy Hour. So Happy Hour is the same thing we're doing here. Like, what a shock. But instead of me rambling at 8 a.m, it's me tired and rambling at, well, this time I did it at 4, which didn't seem to work. It was too early. Now, the last time I did one right in the beginning. 4 o'clock seemed to be a magic number. It worked really well because we had overseas people. But here's the problem. 4 o'clock is 2 o'clock on the West Coast. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast, but that's when people are getting home from work. They can't really make it work. So Thursday night, stay tuned. I may change it, but I think that this Thursday night we're going to do another one, and I'm going to do it at 7 Central. So that'll be 8 for East Coast, 5 for West Coast. I know that's still not the sweetest spot, but it's hard to balance that. And I think that for my overseas people, I think that falls at a reasonable time. Yeah. Hi, Chelsea. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, 4 o'clock. It was an odd time. It was just I was trying to work it so that everybody. I don't know. So we're going with Thursday night, 7 o'clock. We'll have our happy hour. If you're a coffee person like I am, bring your coffee. If you are addicted to bar rescue, which I am, and you want to show off your creative libations, bring that, I guess. Okay, so I would say the gang's not all here yet, but we're going to start talking about something. So, first thing I want to talk about, big shout out to Bruce, who is in our chat. I saw Bruce. So, Bruce does car detailing. That's why I made a reference to this earlier. That is his next career, I guess. Not to give too much away, but when he retires, he wants to kind of transition into doing that a little bit more actively. I hope I'm not ruining anything for you here, Bruce. I mean, if somebody needs car detailing, reach out to Bruce. 1-800 Mr. Bruce. So anyway, this week he posted a thing on his social media promoting that he's doing this. Okay, so doing what we're supposed to be doing here, he started marketing. And he said on there, hey, I do more than detailing. I also do accessory installs, things like that. He's coming out to Chicago today to put on my deer whistles on our. No, I'm kidding. They are deer whistles. I do have them. I am putting them on today, but I can do that myself, Bruce. I got it. But anyway, I was so proud of him. I saw that and I was like, you're doing it. You're showing value. You made me notice it. You're putting yourself out there. So huge congratulations. I'm so proud of you, Bruce. Everybody in here, yay, Bruce. I love it. So there you go. That was the first thing I want to do. Second thing is, unless people have comments, I'm going to pull up my next slide. There we go. We're going to remove that. And okay, it didn't want to remove it. That's not what I want. We're going to close that. We're going to remove it totally. Oh my gosh. I'm trying, guys. I really need a producer that sits here with me and as I say things can actually like make those things happen. I know that's not going to happen anytime soon, but man, wouldn't that be awesome? Here we go. There's why it wasn't working. Okay. And share. Here's what I want to talk about this week, or at least I want to get the ball rolling. So we're going to go back in time a little bit. And I misspelled it. It's catalyst. So maybe we won't share that screen. um, oh my God. When you're typing fast, things happen. So anyway, let's explain catalyst. Maybe that's a better way to do it. So years ago, back in the early 2000s, we had a store. We had our own retail store. We had a baby store in Chicago. And that was when this all kind of really came to a head where we started learning about leadership and I got deeper into marketing and Maeve and I just like obsessed about all this stuff. And it was really like where this stuff was all my thoughts on all this were starting to take shape way before degrees or anything. And then there were a couple of things that we noticed back then. One was We always needed that smart friend. And no offense, I think Bruce is the only one here that knew us back then. No offense, we didn't have that smart friend. No, I'm joking. But we didn't have the smart friend that we needed for our business. That person. So I actually shouldn't even say the smart friend. The smart friend is great when is the person when you're shopping. So if you go shopping and you bring your friend that's the expert on shoes and you're shoe shopping, you have brought your smart friend. For a salesperson, they can either be a huge help or they can be a real pain in the ass. Uh, for a business owner, when I say smart friend, I mean the friend who comes in or the completely out of the blue person, be it a consultant or uh, somebody who's shopping with you, and they just kind of go, if you light your bottles over there, it's going to be more attractive. People are going to see it, and it's going to attract them over there. We needed that. We needed that person to come in and see what were we doing wrong, because we were doing a lot right, but there were things we were missing, and there were definitely things. First time business owners that we were like, crap. We need that person who's got that objective eye to come in and throw some suggestions at us or tell us what we're doing wrong. Because with your fans or your customers that are regulars, they love to tell you what you're doing right. So it feels really good. But we had questions. They're not going to have the answers typically because they're just cheering, right? So cut 2 years later, and our business is closed. We've moved on. We're doing other things. Um, this idea that you need somebody kept eating at us. In fact, I tried to launch like a small business consulting thing where a friend of mine and I went in and we looked at a couple of small retail shops and we saw issues and we were like, look, we could come in and pitch you on things you can do to improve this that are going to make your numbers go up that could help. Kind of like, if you think about it, when I talked about bar rescue, kind of like a bar rescue for small businesses way back. People didn't bite. They liked it, but the comment I got a lot was, "Well, where'd you get your degree?" I owned retail and blah blah blah, but that was a barrier. That was a roadblock block. That okay. So over time, that kind of went by the wayside. We started our network, still needing that third party, that smart friend who could come in and talk to us. That could give us ideas. Like we had ideas on how you could make money at it, but there have to be people that could look at it and go, oh, hey, you know what? If you did this, that might change everything, right? Good morning, Sarah. Uh, I've worked hard to be that person for people. Uh, I try really hard when they have a question or they're trying to figure something out. I try to be that person, right? Uh, I still personally need that person. It's kind of like, if you have a therapist, you kind of hope that they have a therapist. Right? If you're the one helping market and helping consult, you hope that that person has people they talk to too, that they're getting perspective and fresh ideas for what they do from. Okay. This isn't a sales pitch. I swear to you. I swear to you, it's not. Uh, so it's driving me crazy. I got to fix this so that I can put my sign up. Okay. So we had an idea. We had an idea that was outside of the box, which was we wanted to, uh, this was something Maeve and I talked about. We wanted to come up with something that could help our friends, that could help people that we met that needed uh, this kind of help. People that were open to it, because when you're an entrepreneur, which all of you listening here are, whether you know it or not, um, you need that. There's a reason you're coming and watching this every week. The reason we're spending time together and you're like, wow, he keeps talking about my brand and all that. It's because you're looking for that. You're looking for uh me to give you some ideas that are going to help propel you, right? That's how it is. So we have tried to work on being that person. So that's why I started consulting. That's why I started coaching. Maeve got certified as an international coach, not for business, but for other things, because this is what our passion is, helping people and being that objective third eye where we can challenge you and we can whatever. Uh, or you guys just like my voice and you just like hearing me talk. Uh, and I've become your new Saturday routine. Hey, I love it. I love spending time with you guys. I wish that we could have this all video and just hang out. I love that. So anyway, we came up with this idea, and it was before. It was right when we had started Southgate Media Group. It was not about us. It was about like, hey, we've got this business, we've got this, but how do we give back? The other thing is, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Okay. If you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you might be in certain areas, but you're the smartest guy in the room knows there are other people in there that have ideas. I always said genius was right next door to you. Always. I would be at a thing, there'd be somebody sitting next to me who you get talking to them and they're like, they got nothing. They got nothing going on. You think, oh man, I would not want to be this person for anything. And then you get in a little conversation with them, and all of a sudden they say something freaking brilliant, and you realize they're just in the wrong place, or they don't know, or their self-esteem stopped them, right? But there's genius right there, and I believe there's genius around you all the time. Everybody in this group, I respect everything you're saying. I think it's brilliant, right? That's why I love doing this. I love this interaction. So, what we came up with is we created a thing called catalyst parties. And we came up with this whole idea, and I'll explain how it works. And then we went, okay, we put it up on Meetup and tried to get people to do it. And there were people that signed up, and then we realized it's not quite right. Then we created a thing on a Facebook group for it, and we did it with just our podcasters. And the problem was they were not all business minded. So that fell apart. It became me and Maeve, basically. And then the other night, Maeve said, you know what you're doing on your show is Catalyst. It is. It is. And it's now spelled correctly. Uh, I believe it's not. Here it is. What a okay. Look, I got the A in there. We're going to close that. What am I supposed to do, right? I'm trying to do this without a producer. Here we go. There we go. I could show off my skills now, not with that one. So anyway, she said, that's what you're doing on this show. You're starting to build this catalyst idea, and I went, oh my god, you're totally right. This is essentially or we can create a version of Catalyst. So here's how it works. First of all, this doesn't cost you any money. This is purely brain power, as in the brain power that helped me spell that correctly. God, I hope it's spelled correctly. I can't spell or count while I'm babbling on. You should see me in class when I have to write on the board. I'm always like, guys, give me a break. I know that the is THE, not TEH. Actually, that's my typing faux pas. After I get lost the tip of my finger, every time I type the, it comes out TEH. Go figure. So anyway, I digressed. Although if you stare at it too long, I can't save you from that. Okay, Sarah. So here's how Catalyst works. And I think what we could do is we can kind of naturally have it in here because it's kind of like the AMA, but I want it to be everybody. We've had weeks where somebody posed a question, I started talking about it, and then we saw everybody starting to write questions or answers in there. That is at its heart Catalyst. Okay. So here's how a Catalyst party works. And here's how I think we could do it here. We have a group of people. Everybody comes with a business question. You got to have entrepreneurs for this thing. I guess you could expand it out into other things, but for us, we're here to talk about marketing. We're here to talk about business, and I guess a little personal coaching stuff too while we're at it. Uh, think about a question, formulate a question. What we would do on the parties is we tell people, go ahead and write to us with the question. We'll help you formulate it so that it gets the best reaction, gets the most interaction back. Then you have a room full of people. It's all people that came with these, right? Oh, Bruce is out of here. He's had enough of this catalyst thing. Go enjoy your breakfast, Bruce. Hey, everybody, see you guys. He's got a car full of people, not you guys. Not you guys. Okay, so you come with a question. Everybody there, and we limited it. We'd have like 8 people, and everybody there has this question of theirs. But they're all smart people. Like I said, I don't care who it is you're sitting next to. There is genius everywhere. Do you have to listen to everything they say? No. And that's the point here. There's no ego in it, but you're getting ideas. You're harvesting ideas, which is what I absolutely love. So at a party, you would have somebody come up. All 8 people are sitting there. You come up with your question, and your question, you want to really think about it. You want to come up with a good one. So if it's just, I mean, it could be, how do I get more Instagram followers? That's a legit question. My sales, when I sell at conventions, I'm not making very much. I'm selling a lot of stuff, but I'm not making very much. It seems like my costs are high. What can I do to offset that? Okay. Legit questions. Questions that when I said those, you might be thinking, oh, I know. Here's an idea. That's the point. Sometimes it's hard when you're the individual to see the forest through the trees, right? When we had our store, like I said, we were pumping on all cylinders on certain things, and other things we were just dropping the ball. And it was so hard to see, which is why they always say hindsight is 2020. It is. I mean, it can be. We look back on those things and we're like, oh, we should have done this. Oh, why did we let that fall? Here's a great way we could have marketed this. Here's something we could have done to get involved, right? But in the moment, we were tapped out. We were doing the other things and things we were rocking out, but we needed that person to come in and say, here's an idea, right? So you've got to, when we do one of these parties, we have, 8 people there. You go up and you ask your question. I'm not making money when I sell my prints at a Comic-Con, but I'm selling a fair amount. I'm looking at the guys around me and they seem to be selling about the same, but I'm losing money. Everybody here can't be losing money. What can I do differently? There's a great question. Now we go around the room and everybody gets a couple minutes and it's timed. You can't babble on. And you, the person asking the question, can't counter it. So if they say, you know what, raise your prices by $1, you, as the person asking the question, can't say, well, you know what, I tried that, and you know what, it didn't work. Because the second you do that, you feel, we always do that. We all do that, where I've tried that. I'm frustrated. It's not working. No. In this situation, you're forced to hear the answer. Just hear it and absorb it, take it or leave it. No ego from anybody, right? Even if you think I have solved your problem, maybe they've tried it and it didn't work. Maybe it was tried in a different way. It didn't work. Here's the other thing. When you have this group of people, so everybody goes around and all 7 other people get to give their minute-long response, right? And what I like about it is it's pure. You're not sitting there formulating something and searching. You're brainstorming collectively, right? So then, after we've done that and we've given them the things, we give another couple minutes where we say, okay, you've all heard what everybody said. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add? And once again, there are rules. You can't say, well, I know that won't work because. That's a private conversation. You've now got this group. You guys on here could communicate with each other or communicate with me and say, you know what, I did try that. It didn't work. Great. Tell me. And maybe you're 100% right. Maybe that's going to be not good. Now we can have dialogue outside of the group to kind of figure that stuff out. So then we're looking at this chat room, and that's when Maeve said it this week. She goes, "You created Catalyst kind of here. It's just you guys didn't know you could do this." I always say it's an AMA. Come with your questions. How often are people coming with questions? In the beginning, it was a little bit more. Now it seems they want to come and hear me ramble on. And I think you guys just like that I get ramped up on coffee as we go. Either that or you like my lava lamps or my Weird Al poster. I don't know. Uh, so with this, what I challenge you to do is really think about what is a question that keeps you up at night or that eats at you. When I was in my final class for my master's, I was asked by the school to do an independent study. Only one student per semester was asked to do this, so it was a big deal. It was really cool, and I had the teacher I wanted. This guy was amazing, and he really knew his stuff. Super successful outside of him teaching. Super successful guy. And we got in to sit down, and I'm like, I don't know what they're going to have me do for this independent study. Uh, he said, we sit down. He goes, "What are your ideas?" I was like, I have zero. Yeah, we'll talk about the lava lamps. How cool is that one, huh? Uh, so I just made a reference to somebody that had written on here. Let me show. Sarah said I wait all week for the lava lamps. Uh, oh, hey, no, I'm going to say this. Jim just wrote something so nice. Such good stuff. Spot on and excellent advice. If you're a business owner, the last 30 minutes are so important to your success. Totally. Totally. Okay, so uh now I got off track. I got excited. Somebody said something nice. And we talked lava lamps. Now we're going to talk about coffee, and I'm going to be off the freaking rails. And hi, Jim. I'm glad you're here. So in this chat, think about that thing. Oh, that was what I was telling you. So he says, "What is the thing that keeps you up at night?" And he goes, "Since you own a podcast network, I don't want you to think about how can I improve target sales on this or how can I." He goes, "Unless that's what you want to do and you think about it all the time." But he goes, "You're an entrepreneur. I bet it's your business you think about, or it's your next business you're thinking about. What is that thing that keeps you up at night?" And I swear to God, we all know there are things. You go to bed, you might even fall asleep, and then 2 in the morning, you wake up and you realize my brain has been processing how to get my employees to do this, and you're thinking about it at 2 in the morning before, like mid thought, and you go, "Oh, I guess I'm thinking about this." You're thinking about how do I get more subscribers on my newsletter? How do I uh, how do I build this really cool different thing? And what will work with this? Like you've got these ideas, but there are these things that do keep you up at night. If you don't have anything that's doing that, now you got to think about how do I get my motivation? How do I get that spark back so that I have that? Because that's where the magic is, right? So anyway, what is that thing for you? What is that question? And it does not have to be, you don't have to put it now, but as we come to these each week, think about it. Take some time. If you know you're going to be watching this on a Saturday, think about what is that? What is something that I would love the group to chime in on? I don't need to just hear Rob babble on and on about optimize your whatever. I want to hear what the group says. You put it in here, we pose it. And you know what? Sarah's already written one. So I'm going to pose this to the group. We're going to try Catalyst right now. So Sarah is an author. Okay. This is actually great. This is actually a great example because I would actually, if we were doing this ahead of time, Sarah, I would challenge you to make this a more concise question because what you're going to get back may not be what you think you're asking for, but that's totally okay because we're going to answer this. How do I get more books or my books into more hands? I want to hear your thoughts I'm going to ramble for a bit about it, but I want to hear your thoughts. The people that are in here, your thoughts are valid. I don't care. There's not going to be anybody saying, well, that's a dumb idea. Because if you do, you are booted permanently from this. There are no dumb ideas. There are ideas that may have been tried before and failed. I don't care. We don't need a comment about it. What we need is you to put it out there, because you may say something that Sarah's tried 100 times, and then you say it again and she goes, crap, you're right. I have a better way of doing it now that you said it. Okay. So there's the question. I'm going to leave it up on here. How do I get my books into more hands? Now, when you said, Sarah said, this is true, it's pretty broad. It is, because what you may get back is literally, how do I get more books into more hands? Go order a box of 100 books on your dime, go out to Walmart or go to the mall and stand at the mall and hand them out. You have now put 100 books in 100 hands. I'm not being cheeky about it. That is a legit marketing ploy. It does answer your question, but it actually might be a good marketing tool. Okay, how do I get more books into more hands? So this is complicated. And I see Chinto has one now too. Oh God, I love this. This is fabulous. So let's get the free books thing out of the idea. You mean, how do I sell more books? Or, well, there's the question. Do you mean, I would have to clarify this before we present it to the group. How do I sell more books? Or how do I literally get more people to read my book? Which question are you really going for there? I'm going to pull up Chinto's while you think about that, Sarah. Is it crazy that I'm not thinking about it right now, since I did the calendar and I've given myself a goal and I'm just mechanical right now, and it has allowed me to be creative? I've written a lot more. No, it is not crazy. I know what Chinto is referring to here. He's finally got like a content calendar. He's getting his social media under control to figure out, like, where do I want to put my mental resources and doing what I'm doing. No, that means you're starting to hit a sweet spot. This is a point where uh, you kind of do growth, and you may not have a question that's keeping you up at night, because we worked on one whether you knew it or not. All right. And once that roadblock got out of your way, all of a sudden, or a speed bump, we should call it. It's not a roadblock. Once that speed bump got out of your way, which is, hey, I'm getting stuck by what to put and where to put. Now that we solved this concept, or at least given you ideas on the concept, it's allowing your mind to open up and go be creative, go write, do your thing. It is more mechanical at that point. But, and this is what's going to happen, Chinto, there is going to be a point soon where the next question is going to start eating at you. You're going to go to a Comic-Con. He's an artist, by the way. You're going to go to a Comic-Con, and you're going to be sitting in Artist Alley, and you're going to look around, and you're going to go, my social media point's going well. I feel good about what I'm creating. I'm getting good buzz back. And then you're going to look across, and you're going to see somebody sitting across from you that has 10 people in his line, and you've got 2. And your next question is going to start eating at you, which is, why does he have 10 and I have 2? Right? I'm giving that as an example. It doesn't mean that's going to be the one, but that's the question that's going to keep you up at night. And then we have something to chew on. It is, I say something mean. That's actually an example I use a lot when I'm talking to people in cons, when I'm talking about consulting, and I'll say that exact thing, like, hey, why do they have it? And then I'll say, and this is so mean, but I'll say, clearly what they do is better than you, right? Okay, I say that to get a rise out of them, because clearly it's not. Screw you is what they should tell me. Okay, so if it's not that their thing is better than yours, because it's not, then it's something else. Now we've got a group here that can start answering questions. Okay, Chelsea has a long one too. So we're going to go to Sarah's. I'm ready. How do I get more people to read my book? Aha. I'm trying to grow my readership still. I think this is a question about how do I intrigue and grab new readers? There we go. There we go. So Chelsea responded, I've done a couple of things to just get the word out about my books. Now, this is directly answering Sarah's question. This is great. I donated a few copies of my books to little libraries, ones in people's front yards and such. Chelsea. I love this. I can't tell you how much I love this. I've got an idea that I actually gave to Sarah already that goes with this. I'm going to tell you in a second. With my card in there that has a QR code on it to my link tree. Brilliant. That's exactly what you should be doing. The thought is that if someone grabs it from the little library and likes it, they will go buy the other books in the series, or they'll wait for the other books to show up in the little library. You know what? I'm joking. They might be, but that actually goes right in line with two things. One thing that I talked to Sarah about, and Sarah, I know you don't mind if I bring this up. This isn't about your thing, but we were talking about moving books. We're talking about getting more people to read it, just like the little library, which I completely love that idea. Completely love it. That is great. And put that marketing in there. Have the QR code, have your card inside, or a flyer or a one sheet that shows I have multiple books. And in fact, Chelsea, you want to look in the author knowledge base under your name for your one sheets because I just redid them yesterday with your new covers. So something you can print up and use. They look so good too. Her new covers are. Oh, I love them. So anyway, the idea that I talked about with Sarah was, and this is my idea for this. You said do it in the little libraries. For me, find like retirement communities, old folks homes, whatever you want to call them. Not to be offensive, who knows what they call them? Everybody has a different thing, but a lot of them have libraries in them. My dad, this is what made us think of it. My dad is in one of these facilities now, and they have a library. It's great. Tons of books in there. I asked the person when they're setting us up, I said, "Oh, how do they get their books?" They go, "Oh, people leave them, or every once in a while, like somebody will donate some, but they usually think of their library first to donate to the Friends of the Library." But they said, "Yeah, we always love when we get new books." First in series, go take your book in, make sure it's got a QR code, or even easier, a website where they can order it. Some kind of one sheet in there that says, "Hey," or even a thing, sign it like a half page, sign it. You know, "Hey, thanks so much for reading my book." So make it personal. I love everybody out here at the mill, right? I'm so happy you picked up my book. If you like it, you want to see the others in the series, go to my website. Done. Done. Or order on Amazon or whatever you want to tell them. Uh, Here's what happens. You've got people that are in there that they see a new book and they're like, "Oh, hey," it feels like they're going to a bookstore, which a lot of them are not able to go out to bookstores at this point. And this is a community of people that was very used to shopping in bookstores and not going to Amazon typically. Or they don't, like my dad doesn't have Wi-Fi or anything, right? Because he doesn't want it. He's like, "Well, what am I going to do on this?" Not at this point, right? He watches TV, he plays games with people, he sees movies there, they have a theater, and they go to the library that's in there, this little free, whatever. You can just sit in there and read. So get your book in there with a little personal note to them, to that place. Like, "I love this place. You guys are so great. Thank you so much for reading my book." Guess what happens? You're going to have people that are going to pick up that book because, wow, it's something new. I've seen the same thing for forever. They read it. They go, "Wow, this is really good. Oh, a cliffhanger. Hey, I'm going to want to know more." You can order it. Get it for your Kindle. Get a copy of the book. You know what? There are going to be people that are going to be in these facilities that are going to see that idea of get the book, get more in the book. Go, "Oh, well, I'll buy one and I'll donate to the library." You know what? I don't care if that book in the library resulted in one sale because it's bull. It's not resulting in one sale. First of all, if you have 5 books in your series, it might result in 4 sales, 1 giveaway to the library for 4 sales. But there are gonna be that's minimum because you might get somebody who's buying them for that library. They love to have a series in there, right? But then there are gonna be other people they're gonna tell. There's gonna be other people in there that might order it, that might get it for their Kindle. My mom reads on her Kindle. Well, she has a Nook, nonstop, though. She buys books, but now most of what she does is on her Nook. So she reads your book, she sits there in the library, and she's commented on it like, "Oh, it's so cozy in there." Great. She sees your book, cool cover. "Oh, look, there's a note from the author. This is cool. Write to us." They start reading it. They get hooked. She orders the rest of it for her Kindle. I had a conversation this week about free Kindle Day. It's called Stuff Your Kindle Day. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's a thing that's happened the last couple of years, and you can get free books for your Kindle. And the person I was talking to said, "But why would I give away? I've got this one series that's really popular. Why would I give away the first book in it? I want people to buy it." And I said, here's the deal, and this is the same thing here. Now you have a cost involved with giving books to these places because you got to buy it at wholesale, and then you give it, right? So you don't want to do a million of these, but 10, why not? Right? 10, it's a lawsuit, or see if you get contacted, see if anything works. I think it's better advertising than trying a Facebook ad. Okay. Those little libraries, same idea. Same idea. Think about how you can make it easy for them to order the rest. And what I said to this person is I said, hey, I would rather, if I had, we'll pick a big number, if I had 50,000 people pick up my free book on Kindle, you go, oh my God, I lost out on all these sales. No, you didn't. You just gave yourself 50,000 opportunities for people to buy everything else you've got. And if you take somebody like me, I get free stuff on Kindle, right? What do I end up doing? If I like it, sometimes I'm partway through the book and I'm like, this is really good. I go out and I buy the book because I like the physical copy. I've also found that for me, I used to like hardcovers. I think they look great on the shelf, but I like a prestige paperback. That feel, that size, I'm all about it. Love it. Little paperbacks, love it in my pocket. Not my favorite format. I don't like to display them. I don't know. Some stuff I can only get that way. So there was my idea. Sarah said, love this. Never thought of mini libraries. Chelsea, ooh, yay. And yes, Chelsea, I love your new covers too. Here's something Sarah said. I could put a handwritten letter in a wax sealed envelope and a couple of copies in bookstores around town. I'll have to wait for the new book to come out, but still. So that is that type of marketing where, celebrities go in and they hide something in the books, and that can work. That can work really well. It's another marketing idea. I would try that, but I would definitely try some kind of handwritten thing that's experiential and specific to a place. If it's a hospital, an old folks retirement home, if whatever it is, something where you can show them support. What you're doing is you're giving them value and displaying value so they want to continue on this road with you. I know if this happened like when my grandmother was in there, they had they didn't have a library, they just had some books laying around, and my grandma would pick them up and she'd sit and read, and then she'd tell my mom, and my mom would go out and order the book for her. And it was like this rolling thing. They really got into mysteries from that. They were like both reading mysteries nonstop. And my mom to this day is a big mystery reader. And it was because they were finding these books at her place. Before that, they weren't necessarily reading mysteries, they were reading all sorts of stuff. Only thing I can think of is to reach out to libraries who have, okay, so here's Chinto's idea, who have writers groups and ask if they host authors for workshops. Great idea. You can do a workshop about your genre and bring your book. It'll automatically make you look like an expert, and the patrons or libraries may buy your books and will get you in the hands and minds who may not have otherwise known your book is out. Brilliant idea. That's really fantastic. The other thing is book clubs. You get a book club interested in it, 10 people in the book club, 10 people buy your book because they want to support you. Now you've got it in more hands. And when you do a book club like that, you say, hey, if you guys do my book club on the last day, I'll do a live Zoom with you guys. Or if they're local, I'll come out and I'll talk to your group. Oh my God. Book clubs freaking love that. Guess what happens? You sold 10 books there, but a lot of times these are people that have friends that are also readers, and they're like, oh my God, I gotta buy Susan the book. Okay, I'm actually trying to work on something like that, but I like how you put that. God knows what I put, or hopefully it was what somebody else in here put. Pierre. Oh, hey, Pierre. Good to see you. Great point about ease of purchase. Creating that ease involves understanding how customers find your product. 100%. Always look for how can you make it easy for them to buy from you. The less clicks, the better. Broken links are death. How do they find your product? This is something we talk about with podcasting all the time. How do they find a new podcast? The best way to find a new podcast is word of mouth. But I've also discovered over time there are certain things that seem to work for me. If I have a blog I like and they mention a podcast, or maybe they got interviewed on the podcast and I click on the link and I like it, I end up subscribing to that podcast. If somebody says, listen to my podcast, they put an ad out, I have almost never clicked on it. Not that I have something against it. I just noticed this is a behavior of mine. So understanding how they find your product, like I was talking about, the people in the retirement home, they're sitting there. How do they find it? There's a new book on the shelf. You've done something different for them. You could even ask the people that work there, hey, can you put it so it's forward facing just to see if anybody that attracts anybody? That's how they find it. Or go in, stop in, and put your book on the little table on the side table so that when people are coming in there, they're like, oh, what's this book? Okay. And Sarah, I love writing snail mail. This is something I would enjoy if I found it. Yes, snail mail is a good one. I feel like I could sell some letters from Lorraine Hollow at my table. Absolutely. The letters are from some of the characters or something special. Honestly, I just want to use my wax stamp. We had one of those book plate stamps. Oh my God. I loved it. I loved it. Same thing. Then I stamped all my books and I realized a lot of the books I had were just these. It was kind of funny though, because there were a lot of like crappy sci-fi and horror stuff from when I was in high school, stuff that I love, but it's not from the Southgate library. Yet, if you go to the local library here, I bet there's a whole bunch of those crappy books that are full of my stamps. So I loved it. A wax seal sounds good. Okay, any other ideas, you guys? How do we get books in more hands? Here's the other thing that I like about Catalyst. I know we're directly addressing Sarah right now because we haven't had another question in here. But the other thing I like is um, the highest form of learning is being able to take what you've heard and apply it to you, to your real world. To me, the ultimate is hearing an idea that is not directly A to B, but maybe it's A to 14. So you have a car detailing business. You're hearing this about how do I get more books in people's hands? Is there anything in what we're saying, any answer you've heard here in Catalyst that maybe makes you go, oh, that would work for me? Now, putting your car detailing card in a retirement home, not going to do anything for you. Not a great plan. But following what Pierre said, make it easy. Understand how you can make it as easy as possible for them to buy. Whether it's ease of use on a website, you're at an event, have a Square reader in your pocket so they can pay you there. And also understand how they find your product. If you have a car detailing business and you go, oh, you know what, I'm going to put it up at Starbucks. They have a community board. Starbucks doesn't, but local coffee shop should. Okay. Uh, that might work. But if there is more like a local auto parts store that has a community board, it's got to be a small one. Like somebody like everybody in town goes to this one. It can't be just the regular like Giant Auto or whatever. It's got to be like, oh, this guy's a mechanic. He has an auto parts store tied to it. You know, in your smaller towns, you find that kind of thing. Okay. In Chicago, not so much, especially ones that's going to have a community board. But maybe you go to the coffee shop that's next to one of those little parks where they have oil change, detailing, blah, blah, blah. They have like 5 or 6 auto things. Those little like auto service parks that people like put their businesses in. And right next door, there's a little hot dog stand. Hey, can I put my card in here about car detailing? Yeah, sure. Put it on the counter. Can I put it on your community board? And then come up with something cool for that. Getting your oil change today? How about making your car look as good on the outside as it is on the inside now? Call me. 10% off. Here's a phone number. Email me. Here's the email. Book your session now at www whatever. Then they go to that, and when they click on that, they don't have to find the book now button. It's there's the name, there's a similar thing that you said, and a big button that says book now. And when they click on it, dates, times, cost, booked, ease of use. And you went right where they were. So that is something that I'm trying to get more books in more hands. Think about it in those terms. The little libraries, brilliant idea. Ease of use, here's where they do it. Just make sure the QR code is a favorite of mine, but take somebody like my mom who might pick one up at a little library. The chances of her picking it up and then clicking on a QR code, pretty slim. Unless my daughter is there to say, here's how you get a QR code, Nana. No fault of her own. People communicate different ways. Have a QR code, have a website with a landing page. Bam. And know what you want them to do. Always keep that goal in mind. As we've talked about a million times on here, have a goal in mind. I want them to buy the next in series. I want them to go to my website, which has a funnel where they automatically get hit with join my newsletter. I want them to follow me on Goodreads. Whatever it is, that has to be there and has to be super freaking clear. I hope that helped. Yeah, and lean into what you like. Like when Sarah said here, she loves doing snail mail. Yeah. So there's another idea. Like, what can you do with that to enhance the experience? You know, if it's put it in the little library and you write your thing, maybe it's if you use this code, I'll send you a handwritten note. That would actually be good for your Patreon. Buy all 3 books at blank with the coupon code Sarah's Patreon, and I'll send you a handwritten note thanking you. How cool is that? I mean, I'm saying it's cool. Okay, let me see what else I can show you guys here. I'm going to add this to the stage, and I think I can scan. I can. So Thursday, I'm going to try it again. This Thursday, I did happy hour. It was the first one. I misshot a little bit, meaning I didn't really advertise it. I just kind of put it out there, and I didn't even invite people through my Facebook stuff. I just put it out there. I had a couple of people show up. I was really just kind of testing the waters. I shot wrong, though. I put it too early. I put it at 4 o'clock. So we're going to do Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central. So my West Coast, that's 5 o'clock. Get home from work, jump on. You'll be in late. If you are East Coast, it's 8 o'clock, so it's not too late. And bring your beverage of choice. Mine is coffee, as always. I am thinking, I was talking about this before. I found a place that does custom, they're a roaster, and they will make us our own little bags. This is a 4-ounce bag, so it essentially is 10 cups of coffee. I'm gonna taste some of their brews and make a pour over thing. So if anybody is interested in getting that, we'll have that up soon. We'll actually have some merch on here, which is always fun. But Thursday night, happy hour. Maybe I'll debut the coffee merch at that point. Let's see. What else did I have on here? Join my newsletters, Pour Over Marketing, and Mic Drop. I have not updated those yet, but anyone that is with Four Horsemen knows that the super secret only to the authors newsletter went out, the first one on Wednesday. There's going to be another one, I believe, on Monday. And now that I have that, Pour Over first and then Mic Drop are all back, and we will have these newsletters popping out. So follow on Substack, and people that follow it, I make me aware when you have a Substack of your own, so I can share things and I can promote your stuff, and we can start building on this together. Okay, we did that one. Sarah had another one. What if my ultimate super end game goal is having a Lorraine Hollow haunted house at Universal Studios? Oh my God. No, Sarah, we've talked about goal setting, haven't we? I'm going to do that on Thursday. I'm going to talk goal setting. I'm going to lay out my plan on how you can effectively goal set. And no, you are not shooting too high here. That's exactly what I would tell you to do. I'll do that on Thursday. So I can't as quickly. I was going to put on my on this thing here. Next week, goal setting. That was a real casual. The Thursday night. I'm hoping to have catalyst questions. I'm hoping to have. I'm hoping it to be casual and fun. Hoping to have a lot of people there. Okay, Chelsea. I literally just had a similar idea for my other job. I'm a chiropractic assistant. We are in need of new patients. I'm trying to get my bosses to do some social media, but since they're resistant to it, I made a raffle ticket for our customers to pass out. Beautiful. Love it. The current customer tears the small part of the ticket off and turns it into us. That gives them a chance to win a summer-themed basket. The large part the friend gets the first appointment for a deal. Trying to I know what you mean. Trying to apply. Yeah, fantastic. That is a good idea. Now, there's one. We're going to run out of time today, but there's a question. Even though it's not directly related to you, Chelsea Burton Dunn, author with amazing new covers, it is more, hey, I'm trying to help in my other day job. We want to try to attract customers. Here's my question. And you could even say, as a modifier, they don't really love the social media thing. So how can we get more people aware of what we do? You're going to get a million ideas. Sarah, this is a new goal as of an hour ago. So we did do it. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to talk about it with the group on Thursday. But yeah, you did not aim too high with your goal. In fact, I say shoot for the stars with some of them. Because here's the thing about a goal. We can take a goal, and that's just it. It is what we are actually after. Now we can go back and set mini goals. We can give ourselves, points to hit to lead us there. And I'm going to tell this story again on Thursday. I'm just going to warn you because this is all related to it. I'm also starting to post these to the New Media Lab YouTube page. I had started doing some trainings there for podcasting. There's a lot of this kind of stuff and podcasting stuff that I'm going to start putting over there, as well as shows from New Media Lab where there's some really good insights there too. So when we first did this, and we did this technique that I'm going to talk about on Thursday about goal setting, we made this crazy list that had some goals that seemed as far away as I'm going to go live on the moon. Okay. 4 years later, we were moving and we found this list. And what we realized is some of the things went by the wayside. We were no longer interested in. And it was like, oh, wow, that seems so ultimately important at that point. And right now, even if it happened, I wasn't really concerned with it. Other thing that happened was we hit tons of the goals, but some of them have been reframed. We may have said something like, I want to own a house. Well, now maybe we don't want to own a house. We want to live in a house, not an apartment. And we achieve it. We go, oh, but we did achieve that goal because I really don't want to have the financial burden, but I do want to live in the house. Did I hit my goal? Yes. Those goals are not concrete, but what is the idea? What is the thing that you achieved? And that's something we're going to talk about there. I think I've got one more. You can email me. Okay. I did this while we were first starting the show. I have no idea if this email is working. It did. I set it up and then I went, I haven't used it in a while, so it may go into oblivion. So if it does, you can email me at rob@smgpods.com, or you can email me southgatemediagroup@gmail.com, or message me in here, or message me, for those of you with Four Horsemen, you know how to find me. You can just do a message in New Media Lab or at my thing, which is more. Somebody else was asking when we're starting. Too late. Okay. Sarah, we did talk about it. Okay. Chinto, this is the last thing, and then we're going to go. I'm doing nothing but small goals because I have a pass fail mentality. Having a large goal like getting published makes me feel like a failure until I do get it. So my goals have been write for 1 hour, draw every day, and every day I do, I succeed. There's some stuff in there that you and I need to talk about to help get that mentality uh, out of your way. But I totally get it, Chinto. I totally get it. And in fact, I would say look to a big goal because you know what that bigger goal is. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing these smaller things. But set these small things so you can have the wins and you can feel like you're winning and accomplishing. And that doesn't mean that it's little things, goal. It might be little things, goal, 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 little things, goal, 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 little things, goal, 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 goal. Oh, big one down here that has 2 or 3 big ones, or maybe they all lead into a really big one, but you're not failing at those because you're really hitting everything over here. So we're going to talk about that. You and I will talk about that. But on Thursday, let's talk goal setting. If you guys have questions, like I said, Catalyst, bring those questions and we'll discuss them as a group. This was beautiful. I think great ideas happened here. Thank you, everybody. Oh, one last thing. If you go to the Capes and Lunatics Facebook page right now, or to the Facebook page, The Third Best Southgate, I am already late, but I am doing a Third Best Southgate today, talking nerdy stuff. So for the next hour, that's all it is. More lava lamps, more Boba Fett. Going to be nerdy. So it's Capes and Lunatics or Third Best Southgate. When there's more Southgates in the house, I drop and it becomes like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th best Southgate. So, guys, thank you so much. Pierre, thank you for saying terrific live stream today. I love it. And there we go. Cheeto wrapped it up. Have a great weekend, everybody. I hope to see you over at Third Best Southgate. Thanks, guys.